No long intro. FTMO challenge. Now, this one is a highly anticipated video for most of you that have been subscribed or following with the progress of the channel for the past few weeks. You've all known I've been taking the challenge, although it has taken a bit longer than what I anticipated, but yesterday, early London session, I actually got it done and passed the challenge. Although by any stretch of the imagination, it's something to be proud of, it's something to celebrate. But I've been here before and I've made some crucial mistakes, and this is what this mind map will be addressing. Let's take a look at what Jim Rohn says. One of my favorite motivational speakers. I'm not a big motivational speaker kind of dude, but I like the sound of his voice, quite soothing, and he's very articulate, and everything he says is eloquently put. He mentions, don't wish it were easier. Wish you were better. Wish for more skills. Don't wish for less challenge. Wish for more wisdom. Now, the reason why this quote is quite fitting is because oftentimes in my trading, especially earlier on, when I've made crucial mistakes, I always wish, oh, come on, God, why do I have to go through this? Why do I have to make this mistake? Can't I just get by with this? And truth is, it doesn't work like that. And oftentimes I would wish for things to be easier. But upon reading a lot from Jim Rohn, I realized the best course of action is to simply be better. And not only wish I was better, but actually do the work. And in meditation, Marcus Aurelius talks about, don't talk about what a good man is, be one. And oftentimes we all talk about what a disciplined trader is, what a good person is, what a noble individual is. But it's all talk, it doesn't matter. Simply be one. And upon creating this channel, which was completely unexpected, that's exactly what I personally want to do. I want to hold myself accountable, and I want to be as disciplined as possible. Now, let's take a look at what Marcus mentions. He says, constantly reflect that all the things which happen now have happened before. Reflect too that they will happen again in the future. Have in your mind's eye whole dramas with similar settings, all that you know of from your own experience or earlier history. Now, this is very crucial because I've gotten funded before. Actually, I remember perhaps it was last May or April. It was during my high school graduation. I was taking the verification. I had passed the challenge and I was on the verification. And I ended up passing the verification and getting funded, getting a couple payouts. And to me, I thought I was the best out there. Decided, all right, probably not going to go to college anymore, I'm the best trader out there. And that was a mistake. And of course, I am in school now. I genuinely like school for my own personal reasons. But August, which was something that completely blindsided me because I simply haven't traded for that long, and I wasn't in the markets for a year prior to actually gain the experience to actually understand what summer doldrums would actually look like. So I incurred crazy amount of drawdown in August on my live account. And I simply couldn't come back from that. I spent September trying to make back all the losses and come back from drawdown. And eventually, I remember maybe early October of last year, I ended up losing the account. Now, this was devastating for me. Let's actually take a look at what Jim Rohn says, and we'll build more on that premise. So as of why, although I'm in the verification phase right now, I don't feel easy, I don't feel happy. or anything of that nature, which is quite odd now. He mentions, you must learn to handle the nights. They come right after days. You must learn to handle difficulty. It comes right after opportunity. You must learn to handle recessions. They always follow progressions. Now, earlier on this year also, about 4 months ago, late July, I ended up passing another 100K challenge. And of course, I got the retweet from Michael, which was a bonus and put a smile on my face for the rest of the day. And of course, me being arrogant, like always, simply thought, all right, August messed me up last year, but now I know. I have a different model now. I've made lots of improvements in my trading. Surely this can't happen again. What do you guys think happened? Oh boy. Well, I'll tell you. I'll actually show you too. The account metrics. In August, I went 0 for 12, I believe, at one point, where nothing was going my way. And eventually I was actually down 9.5% on the verification account. Now, some of you may be asking, well, there's no way you could come back from that, so you failed the verification, right? No, I didn't. I made a miraculous comeback. Don't know how I even did it, but I'll show you guys soon. See, now I am very cautious now, knowing that I have passed the challenge. Although it's an opportunity to be moving on to phase 2, the verification, I learned now there's going to be some difficulties, just like there was back in August, which was quite recently. I can remember it now where all my setups, the same setups I took that got me through the challenge, simply were not working through the verification. Incredibly frustrating and painful. Although I simply don't want to sound all negative, but for a lot of us, it's very important that we understand this, because these two quotes build more on the premise that we learned from Ecclesiastes chapter 1 verse 9, where it mentions what has been done is what will be done, and that there's nothing new under the sun, absolutely nothing. And that's why Marcus mentioned, constantly reflect that all the things which happen now have happened before. It's crucial for me. If I fail to put this in my mind's eye, I will fail again. If I simply go out through this verification and think it's going to be a breeze, simply I only need, because I need to make 5% less to pass it, I will end up failing again. And I don't want that. That's too painful. I don't want to have to go through that experience again. So I will make the necessary changes, because now I'm learning that difficulty comes right after opportunity. And that's something we all have to live with. Imagine being able to pass a challenge and you think, okay, 5%, that's all I need. And yet you simply can't get one trade to go your way. Now that's painful. That's why now in my personal life, every time I take 5 steps forward, an improvement, I become very risk averse and I switch. It's like the mental model just switches, where now I'm not focused on taking another 10 or 5 steps forward, but rather risk management and understanding that how do I not take 7 steps backwards now? Because this is far more important for me now. Because earlier on through the year, I remember I was up 112% on my live account trading futures, and I was using the YouTube model, the YouTube mentorship model. And heading into August, although I remember the mistakes I made the year before and how it cost me my live account, I simply told myself, well, I'm a different trader back then. I'm not 18 years old, right out of high school anymore. I'm a 19-year-old dude who's a bit wiser, read a couple more books, and another one more extra year of experience. Surely this this can happen again, all right? Well, it did. In August, I basically threw away all the profits I had made on my live account. That's one of the reasons why I haven't been trading that much on live. Although last week I initiated a wire transfer to my account, so I'll be trading it from now on. I'll be trading again, but it hurts not being able to see it coming and being blindsided by it. Because there's a saying that, the blows that knock us out are simply the ones we don't see coming. If you see a jab coming, surely you can brace for it. Because of anticipation, it'll still hurt nonetheless, but it won't knock you out. Now, negative visualization, something I've been working with since I was 16, since I became a stoic, or at least attempted to be a stoic. Although it may sound very negative, but it's something I found to be quite useful in my personal life. When it comes to bearing difficulty and handling difficulty. Because most of the time, when it's daytime or when I'm having winning trades, I'm on a winning streak, I completely lose sight of what the opposite side can be. Like Jim Rohn mentions here, you must learn to handle the nights. They come right after days. And inversely, I must learn to handle the days because they come right after the nights. Those losing streaks, they come right after a winning streak, oddly enough. So it's very important for me to learn how to handle those. And passing a challenge, what comes after passing a challenge? Now, this is a difficult question to answer. About a month and a half ago, when I passed the challenge, I anticipated passing the verification, and I didn't, and I ran out of time. So I simply won't let myself repeat the same mistakes again. Let's take a look at what Marcus mentions again here. He says, the art of living is more like wrestling than dancing, and that it stands ready for what comes and is not thrown by the unforeseen. Now this is so true. I mean, life itself, this isn't some dance where you can predict your partner's next step forward or backwards, or where you can anticipate the beat dropping so you can bust out this move. There's none of that here. This is a wrestling match, and life is trying to get you on your back. It doesn't want you standing on both your feet. That's the last thing it wants. And it's very difficult for me now understanding that, hey, there's a high likelihood that life will probably try to take me down, or can remove life and say the markets will probably try to take you down, either via a single leg takedown or a double leg takedown. But the markets will shoot at you. Losses simply will exist. You can't do nothing about it. But here's what Marcus mentions. He says that knowing this, and that it stands ready for what comes and is not thrown by the unforeseen. Now, because I wasn't ready, I didn't stand ready for what were to come. I was thrown by the unforeseen 2 months ago, and the year before, and times before that. Now, knowing this, building premises like this and framing ideas like this throughout a mind map and putting it on YouTube, it helps me tremendously when it comes to actually understanding these ideas. Because beforehand, I would think some of my failures were just knockout blows. I didn't see them coming, and I truthfully didn't. At 18 years old, getting funded, getting payouts every month, hey, I'm on top of the world, man. Nobody tell me nothing. I was in group chats with other individuals telling telling me about summer doldrums. Yeah, I didn't care. I didn't care what you're talking about. I'm trying to make money in August and every other 12 months out of the year. I don't know what you're talking about. I should probably slow it down. Slow it down for what, man? I'm trying to get rich over here. I'm trying to buy my Lambo, man. And you can quickly see how a mindset like this can quickly fail an 18-year-old who simply doesn't have the experience under their belt to engage in market conditions like in August. And I paid the price. And it was unforeseen. But now, understanding that, here's what Marcus mentions up here again. It says, constantly reflect that all the things which happen now have happened before. Very true. Reflect too that they will happen again in the future. Now, I won't let that happen again in the future. At least I won't make those same mistakes. But one thing's for certain though. I will have losing trades. I will have losing days. And perhaps I will have losing weeks. I haven't had a losing week in the past 2 months. But I know that that streak will come to an end. Now, will it be unforeseen? No. Because I understand this is a wrestling match. The markets are constantly trying to take me down. And eventually, it's going to get that double leg takedown, and there's nothing I can do about it. I'm going to have to climb right back up and get back on my feet and keep this party going. And the most important thing here is how he mentions, have in your mind's eye whole dramas with the similar settings. All that you know of from your own experience or earlier history. Now, this part of the quote is very touching when it mentions that have in your mind's eye whole dramas with similar settings. Now, this is actually why I wanted to make this video. Because the settings are awfully similar right now. Although we're in November, we're not in August. You would assume, everything would be peachy, but with midterm elections coming up next week, it's a wild card, just like August was. And I've made the mistake before going in head first, like I'm Houdini, thinking I'm the best out there. Nothing can hurt me. But of course, nothing did hurt me. I hurt myself. Understanding this now, and understanding too that there's nothing new under the sun. All the things that happened in the past will probably happen in the future. And failing to realize so is what hurt me the most in my trading. And I won't let it happen again. Although I understand now being in this verification is an opportunity. A good one, a great one, a one I'm grateful for. And for that, I thank Michael for teaching me this wonderful skill. But I know that difficulty comes right after opportunity, like Jim mentions. So I must stand ready for what comes. That way I'm not overthrown by it or knocked out by it. And of course, move forward to market review. You all know what the seasonal tendency is at this point, expecting a higher dollar and lower prices on the euro dollar. I mean, that's not going to change anytime soon, and when it does, I'll be sure to let you guys know. Now, let's actually take a look at, let's see. This is the reload. This is the challenge metrics, or the dashboard, they call it. So about 23 trades passed here, and you can see November. Let me see if I can move this. Yeah, here it is. So you passed this yesterday. Account size. And here it is, 13 days. Not a lot of drawdown. Here's the profit target. And I know some of you guys actually want to see the the disaster in August. I'll show you guys that one too. And here it is. I mean, I had no chance at all. Absolutely none whatsoever. Right from the get-go. It was just a one-way. This, I feel like, was probably just luck or something. I don't know. Yeah, it just kept going lower. Every trade I took was just putting me deeper in the hole. I was down 9% here, but floating was I think a bit more. And this is the back half of August where I decided, all right, there's changes that need to be made, and I started making them. And I recouped some of those losses, and I ultimately closed the month. Well, I had 60 days, so I closed the 60 days and $17 of profit. So I was granted a repeat on the challenge. So I failed to pass the verification, but I wasn't in drawdown. So instead of letting me do the verification all over again, they forced me to go back to the challenge, which was upsetting but understandable. I mean, if I couldn't pass the verification in 60 days, uh, I just suck. So it does make sense to have me go back. And although I understand why, probably anticipating that I'll probably fail the challenge if I couldn't pass the verification, that was half less. But sucks for FTMO. I did pass did pass the challenge, and now I'm back to the verification again. Let's take a look at this. Look at that. Max loss. At one point I was down $9,455 and I had $600 to work with, and I somehow ended up making the comeback. And ever since this experience, I really don't feel the same way about these markets, because the truth is I was using the same model I used to pass the challenge, and seeing that same model just fail me so much was devastating to my ego and, of course, to my pride. But that comes with the territory. So this is all I wanted to show you guys. I can go back, client area. I don't want to show you guys too much, but now this is the one I'm working with right now. This is ongoing. See how it doesn't have an end date because I haven't put any trades on there yet. So stay tuned for that. I won't be trading for the rest of the week, and of course it's non-farm payroll tomorrow, so I'll be on the sideline just watching, and got a couple school assignments too, so get those projects done and anticipate another video. Not sure when, because I don't want to be pumping out videos if I don't have anything important to say. But this mind map, though, is very important, or at least to me it is. To some of you, it may not be that significant, but for the mistakes I've made in my trading, I simply won't let myself make them again. So I'm constantly going to remind myself about these things, that I don't want to wish things to be easier. I want to be better, and that's why I read every day, trying to get more experience and learn a bit more. And of course, these mind maps definitely help when it comes to framing my thoughts and my ideas and seeing the areas I can improve. As a matter of fact, the last trade that actually helped me pass the challenge was shorts on EU. I was using the London delayed protraction, something that's hurt me time and time again. And since learning about it in the core content, I've been excited, and it's proven fruitful so far. So lots of improvements, and throughout November, I'll be working to try to get this verification done. I'll be a lot more careful, of course, And that's about it. So with all that being said, good trading, and of course, guys, see you guys next time. And I do thank all of you for the likes and the comments and stuff. It's actually quite hilarious how I've never asked anyone to subscribe, and yet I have I have a ton of subscribers now and a ton of likes and stuff. That's pretty cool. Crazy how that works. But thank you guys for all the support, and anticipate another video next week, or perhaps even on Sunday, depending on how the markets open up, if I have any biases I want to share with you all.